Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. How you doing? Welcome to the Fantasy MD's Baseball Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. This is our 21st episode. Dominic Martino, your host, here with my co-host as always, my brother, my partner in crime, Matthew Arnay. Matt, what's up, my brother? How are we doing today?
Much better. Team's up for once this season, so it's
There we
it's
go.
pretty good. It won't last, but it'll be fun. But that's this year with baseball. It's just you got to keep struggling until warm weather and balls start flying out of the park, I guess.
Yeah, you know what, my brother? Once again, I think everybody is struggling right now. Even the teams towards the top. My teams are faring pretty well so far this season, but I even see parts of my teams that are struggling, powers down across the league right now. There's underperforming pitchers right now, that are hurting everybody. Everyone's hurt. So you know what, man, that's why we do what we do. We're trying to keep everybody in the loop of what's going on in the fantasy community. And we're going to start today with the finger on the pulse. We got a good one for you guys today. We're going to talk about Luke Voit is back with the San Diego Padres, and boy, oh boy, did he have himself a day today. I will mention he's only 39% owned on Yahoo, but Luke Voit today, in his second game back with the Padres, he went 3 for 5 with 3 runs, 2 home runs, and 2 RBIs, and he hit sixth in the lineup. So I'm pretty intrigued to see what Luke Voit's going to do here back with the Padres. We all know that he had that big 2020, which he led the league in home runs. I'll give you the full line of the 2020 year for Luke Voit right now. In 2020, Luke Voit played for the New York Yankees. He had 56 games, 213 at-bats, 41 runs, 59 hits, 5 doubles, 22 bombs, 52 RBIs, and he hit 277. So, do I think Luke Voigt's going to go out and lead the league in home runs this year? Probably not. But can he mash and hit for a good batting average? Oh boy, he sure can. With Tatis supposedly coming back in maybe June, July, that lineup's only going to get better. So I think he's somebody that you need to go out there and grab right now. Literally, it's a pause the podcast moment. That might be one of our trademark things here, but pause the podcast, go pick up Luke Voit, 38% owned on Yahoo, for first base eligible only, but go out there and get him right now. He's going to start mashing. I got a feeling.
Yeah, you pretty much took it down, let it rock, and kind of covered all the bases. And if you guys have been listening for a bit since we've talked about Luke Voigt's change and how bad he's been performing in the beginning of the season, we said, hey, he needs a little time to acclimate, and this injury could be good for him in the personal life aspect to then take out the personal life and then be able to focus on baseball. And that seems what's coming together here. So honestly, I think it kind of just solidifies our thought process right here. He comes out, gets 2 bombs. I'm pretty excited for what's in store for Luke Voit. He's definitely in my opinion, out of all these bats that we're going to talk about today, the number 1 bat to add. So we're just opening that up with, our boy, Luke Voit. So
yeah. Wish the Yankees would have found a way to keep him, but you know what? Can't be mad with what Anthony Rizzo's doing for us right now as
amen to
well.
that.
Yeah. Amen to that. So we're gonna keep it pushing here. We'll get into the news and notes segment. This one has to be talked about. Reid Detmers, Angels pitching prospect, went out there and threw a no-hitter. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations to Reid Detmers at 22 years old, throwing a no-hitter. Absolutely fantastic. He is somebody that we have brought up on the podcast before. We did mention him on one of our waiver wire segments. I'm not sure which week it was, but we definitely did bring him up there. So far in the year, Reid Detmers has 6 starts, 2 wins, 1 loss, 3.77 ERA, 31 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts. So, kind of low on the strikeouts. Only 8 walks, though. I do like to see that. And 0.83 whip. So, for Reid Detmers, I'm not going out and say that he's like a huge must add or anything right now, but I do like what he did in the minors in 2021. He had 14 starts, a 3.19 ERA, 62 innings pitched, actually 108 strikeouts. So he did show some big strikeout potential there with the 1.14 whip as well. So, he's definitely somebody in deeper leagues you might want to take a look at. You want to throw him on the roster, see what he's going to do. I'm going to tell you who his next start is against here in a second, and I also will get you his ownership percentage. But once again, for Reid Detmers, I'm not going out there and grabbing him right now. He's 14% owned, so he is out there in pretty much every league. You could do a lot worse than him, but I'm not saying that he's a huge going to be fantastic for you or anything like that. So don't mistake what I'm saying. He does get Oakland on May 15th, so you know what, you might want to go out there and grab him for that start and actually see what happens from there. So I'm going to change my tune with that next start towards Oakland. You actually might want to grab him and see where things go.
Yeah, no, I'm actually I said I was going to save it, but knowing that he's getting Oakland, I'm actually just adding him
Yeah,
right now.
go for it. Go for it.
Um,
Yeah,
it's a
I would
great
do it.
matchup. Oakland's pretty putrid. They sold the whole farm system and everything, trying to rebuild for some reason. I don't get it, but it's one of those things where,
Moneyball. They're going Moneyball.
yeah, sure, they go Moneyball like every 3 years. They get all their prospects and they don't want to pay anybody. So, it's just another organization that needs to be ripped from ownership. But let me not get into that. But I think Detmer is at least worth a shot. He's a rookie. We don't really know what his actual potential is, and the fact that he's throwing a no and he's been looking pretty good in his outings. I'm gonna say, you know what? Let's take a flyer on him, and you know
Yeah.
what? At least ride the wave. If he pitches again, great against Oakland. I mean, that's an easy matchup. I don't see how he doesn't. It's a nice start, and then roll to the next one and see when he gets a better team. If he pitches good against a good team, I don't know, the Yankees or something, then he's like we're gonna keep him for a bit and give him a little bit longer leash.
Yeah, and I just like the fact that he's 22 years old. I mean, the sky's the limit with the kid like that. He's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be learning. He's got Otani there, maybe show him a thing or two. So you know what, you could probably do worse than Reid Detmers right now, especially if you're struggling with injuries at starting pitching and stuff like that. So that's about it on Reid Detmers. We're going to keep it pushing here. It looks like the Guardians got a COVID situation going on right now. Their game against the White Sox was postponed today. So adjust accordingly. I'm not sure going forward with the next couple of days how things are going to look here for the Guardians. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that. As far as the White Sox go, I think they're scheduled to play the Yankees tomorrow. And as far as I know, that has not been canceled or delayed or anything like that. Speaking of the White Sox, we're going to bring up a guy who started off the season on fire. That's Andrew Vaughn. He started off, the season looking absolutely great, and then he got hurt there. It was a bruised right hand. It looks like he's going to start his rehab assignment today, Wednesday. He's going to play a couple games down there. On the year, he was hitting 283 with 4 bombs, 12 RBIs. Somebody that I'm really, really high on. He has first base and outfield eligibility on Yahoo, 57% owned, so he's a little bit owned there, but I would go out there and some stash him if you can right now. Once again, high-end White Sox prospect, Andrew Vaughn. Go out there and snag him. Matt, any thoughts on the kid?
No, you pretty much nailed it. I think he's worth at least a flyer. I mean,
Yeah.
if you got the room, it's one of those things where, hey, see what you got.
Yeah, I agree. Keep pushing here. Carlos Correa did officially hit the 10-day IL there, but they are saying that it is only, a bruised finger. It's not fractured. So I'm going to assume that he's going to be back sooner than later. It was pushed back to the day that he actually did get hurt. So it's not going to be that much longer, I don't think. Seiya Suzuki pinch hit Tuesday. It looks like he's going to be back soon from that ankle injury full time. Just adjust accordingly. It looks like you're getting back in their lineup, getting back in your lineups. Zach Wheeler starting tomorrow, which is Thursday. He's going to be back from the COVID IL. Taylor Ward is still out with that hamstring injury. He has not hit the IL yet. We're not sure if he's going to need an IL stint, but we'll keep you updated on that one. This is a little bit more interesting. Ryan Pepio, one of the higher end prospects for the Dodgers, is being called up. Looks like for a spot start. I believe that's today. I don't know if that game started. You know what? Let's check out if it did. We'll give you an update there if it did or it did not. But he's somebody who did have a pretty nice little track record there in the minors.
He's
But once
going right
again,
now.
yeah, how's it looking, Matt? Did he do anything yet?
Actually, it's already done. He got 3 innings,
There we go.
3 Ks, but a 2 whip. But I
Okay,
mean,
so yeah, they didn't really let him go too far in this one, like my brother said over there.
and the
I
whip I
think,
don't take serious anyway because there's only 3 innings, so it's super inflated. Honestly,
yeah,
if he would have
yeah,
got 5, it probably would have been like a 112 or a 120.
yeah. It looks like he actually might get another turn next week against the Diamondbacks. I'd say maybe you give him a chance. I'm gonna get you what he did in the minors so far. I remember it was looking pretty good. Um, Once again, the Dodgers do have other pitching prospects that actually are a little bit higher and more higher end than him, but it looks like they went with him because he was doing very well
I
in the
got the
minors this
stats.
year. Go ahead, my brother.
So he had a 2.05 ERA with 36 strikeouts and 26 and one third innings at the
Hmm.
AAA for Dodgers. So I mean, you know what? It's
Yeah,
impressive stats, especially down in AAA where there's better batters and whatnot. So, you know what? Hey, I mean, pitching is thin as hell. So I mean, especially in the deeper leagues, you know, you could stream them, pitch and ditch. You got to win the week. Might as well take a flyer on him next week, especially against
yeah, and
Arizona,
he
another horrible team.
gets those lowly Diamondbacks, and he's 19% owned on Yahoo. That's once again Ryan Pepio of the
Yeah.
Los Angeles Dodgers. Guys, give him a shot if he does take that start next week against the Diamondbacks. Once again, looks like it's a juice to orange situation over here because I think the Dodgers just needed him to get some longevity out of the bullpen and just like has been beat up recently and looks like they maybe had a couple games in a row there. So I don't think he sticks around for a long time. But while he is here, juice to orange.
I'm gonna
Uh,
get you a juicer for your back so you can
yeah,
stay in.
yeah, there we go. There we go. So Matt, this is one of yours. You got the haterade there for this one, Matt.
Oh
Byron Buxton
yeah.
is he's back from the hip injury, but who knows how long it is before he's out again. I mean,
Yeah,
he's been
watch out
great.
for them flanges, man.
So I mean, he's been great so far this year when he plays, but he's been banged up one too many times for me to feel comfortable about him moving forward on the year. Matt kind of said it earlier, and I'm kind of moving into the lane of you might want to move Byron Buxton here before he takes a long term injury. But once again, I'm not wishing anything bad upon the kid. He's an absolutely great baseball player. I love to see him healthy and out there, but man, once again, he just gets hurt all the time.
Yeah.
To keep it pushing, Ryan Mountcastle got that sore left wrist. Keep an eye on that. I don't know if he's going to hit the IL or not, but I mean, just keep an eye on it if you got him. Ronald Acuna has groin soreness day to day. He did not play today, but I'm sure he's going to be back in that lineup sooner than later. He's just coming off that injury, and he looks like he's played every single day since then. With the minors, and since he got called back up, I just think he's going to be fine. Matt, that's your boy. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, in the reports I saw on Yahoo, they're saying honestly it's more of a rest day. They don't foresee him missing a game other than that.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought there as well. To keep moving here, Steven Strasburg, a little bit of an interesting one. He got another guy that cannot stay healthy for anything, but it looks like he did throw 2 innings during a simulated game today, Wednesday. uh, the manager, Dave Martinez, didn't really, give too many details besides that Strasburg felt good and that they're going to come out in the next few days and decide what the next step on him is. He's 70% owned in Yahoo. I mean, if he's out there, it might be worth a chance, but I just might be a sucker for Steven Strasburg. Matt, what do you think there with Strauss?
I mean, to be completely honest, he really didn't have much from last year. I mean, he got the hand surgery last year. I forgot it was because he had what was it?
Neck and shoulder.
It was neck and shoulder, but he also had it in the beginning of the season. He had something for that thing with your hands.
Carpal tunnel?
Yeah, carpal tunnel surgery, which has never been done on a baseball player, and it looked like it really didn't didn't really help him out all that much. And now he's got this kind of injury going on. I'm not really thrilled about him to begin with. He's a great pitcher if he's actually healthy, but I don't. I think he's done now. I think we can just kind of, put the tombstone there, bury the ditch, and let him put himself to bed.
Damn, fair enough, my brother. I mean, I just look at it this way with the way that starting pitching is right now. If you got the room and let's say it's a deeper league, everybody else is stashed and he's out there, you could throw a dart at him, but he is 70% owned, so who knows. But to keep it moving here, Mitch Haniger came out today and said that he might not be back until July, which is it's kind of surprising. We only thought it was the COVID thing that was still the hang up, but apparently the grade 2 high ankle sprain is a lot worse than we thought. Somebody who had a monster year last year, just get well soon, Mitch Haniger. Everyone could use you out there hitting home runs in their lineups. So, Matt, any thoughts on Mitch before we move into next part of the pod here?
No, I mean, other than you know what, it's a little disappointing because you know what, my man had a great 2021, and I really thought we were going to keep it rolling, but it's opening up windows for all those young prospects they got over there. So
Yeah, it is.
it's just it's a good and a bad thing. Sorry, Mitch Haniger. I just like seeing the rookies. It's a little bit more sexier than your old butt.
Oof, damn, the haterade on Mitch. That used to be your boy too.
Ah, no, he took me far last year,
Yes,
But
sir.
you know what, man? Let's just keep it moving. what we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll right into the waiver wires, and we're gonna start off with a pitcher here, and that's Jabe Caprillion from the Oakland Athletics. He's one of my boys, and quite honestly, it's a happy day in baseball to get this man back on the mound. His first
Yes,
outing
sir.
really wasn't all that hot, but his second outing kind of looked more like last year. And if you guys don't know why I love him outside of the fact that he was fantastic and took me to fantasy glory last year, he's actually an ex-Yankee prospect. He was part of the horrendous trade for Sonny Gray. Oakland made out like bandits. But anyway, so his last start, kind of like I said, looked like last year: 7 Ks, 1.59 ERA, a .88 WHIP, and that's at 5.2 innings pitched. So
And
that's
also against the first place Minnesota Twins, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there.
exactly. So great team, great start. And just to highlight what he did last year too. So he had 119 innings, and he had 8 wins, 123 Ks. He had a 4.07 ERA, which is a little high, but a 1.22 WHIP. But it looked like he just couldn't handle the inning and workload because it was the first time he pitched that long. Because he started to slow down. Because if you're looking at if you looked at his FIP and how he was performing to that, and then as the season went on, then he started the FIP kind of went up and he was out overperforming it, and then it kind of came back to the mean, which was at that 4, and that's kind of how he got there at the in the long run. And I think that's when he kind of like he got hurt, and then it was it. But I mean, he's kind of picking up right where he left off at where he was at that high note. So I think that he's actually like the number one pitching pickup this week, in my opinion. I'd pick him up almost over everybody, but one other person up here, he'd be tied, and that's probably one of Dom's boys we've talked about in the past. But Dom, you got any thoughts on Caprillion here? All
Just a little bit,
caps.
just a little bit on our boy Cap. He's only 8% owned on Yahoo. So right now, once again, pitching's tough these days, man. So go out there and snag him. I think he could totally do worse than Cap. I will say this as well. I think if he really starts getting on a roll, Oakland's going to trade him. He's 28 years old. They're going to take what they can get for a guy like this, who was, once again, he was a high end pitching prospect. He was drafted pretty high by the Yankees, but a lot of injuries, have derailed his career so far. As Matt said, he looked very, very good last year. The ERA got a little inflated over time. Once again, that's the most innings that James Caprillion has pitched in a long, long time. So I think this year you might see a high threes ERA with a good strikeout ratio, and let's see how he does with that control. If he can keep the whip around like 1.20, I'm not even going to be mad at that for somebody that you're snagging off from the waiver wire in week 5. I do want to just say one little sidebar right here. We're doing the podcast a little bit later than normal today, so some of the games are going on, and my boy Juan Yepes hit a bomb. Go out there right now and add this man. We talked about him in our last episode on the waiver wire, one, and just go out there and add him. I'm not even going to say anything more. Just Juan Yepes, go out there, pick him up. Dude is beasting out right now. But to keep it moving with our, scheduled show, we're gonna move into. Let's see if I picked the guy that Matt was talking about here. Matt, we talking about Jamison Tyon? Is that my boy?
Yep.
So we've talked about Jamison Tyon here on the podcast before, but I need to point him out again because he's still under owned. Guys, we're out here telling you who to pick up and who's doing good, and I'm feeling a little bothered here that some of these guys, Jamison Tyon, 41% owned. He pitched absolutely outstanding today. He gave up a little bit too many hits, but gave up a couple runs against Toronto Blue Jays, a great team. Had 4 Ks, got the win, 5.1 innings. He's been really, really good on the year, guys. Go out there and snag him. Who does he get next time out? Let's check this out. Looks like it's either gonna be Baltimore or the White Sox. If it's that Baltimore outing, you need to add him. Even the White Sox have not been playing up to par so far. Matt, I know you went out there and added him in a couple of our leagues. Give me your thoughts here on Tyon.
Yeah, I mean, today he had a nice little start.
Yeah, yeah.
He got the W, had 4 Ks in 5 innings, which I mean the K9 isn't there, but right now he's not doing that. We don't need him to either. But he
Mm-hmm.
had a 3.38 ERA and a 1.31 WHIP. So I mean, I'm going to take that off a guy I just picked up off the waivers, and he's pitching for the Yankees. So every time he starts, there's a good opportunity of him getting that W. Especially the way we're hitting right now.
Yeah.
So this is just a home run of an ad. So if he's available in your leagues, I would definitely scoop him. And I mean, you're talking pitching has been terrible, and you know what? A lot of the questions we're fielding on our socials is pitching questions. You
Yeah.
know, This is a guy we've talked about within the last 2 weeks twice now. So he's still available. I'd scoop him up if he's there.
Yeah, Matt. Before we move on here, I have his full stats with today's start. So with today's start, Jamison Tyone of the New York Yankees has made 6 starts to a 2.93 ERA, 3 wins, 1 loss, 30 innings. He has 25 Ks. Once again, it may not be the biggest K guy, but it's still going to give you a decent amount of Ks and a 117 WHIP. So somebody that's for what is it, 41% owned. You guys got to go out there and get this guy. It's really a shame. First place New York Yankees are going to win a bunch of games this year. Go out there and add him. He's finally doing what everyone thought he was going to do. When he came up with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Matt, you wanna take the next guy here? Or you want me to do it?
I got it.
Go ahead, brother.
We're gonna talk about Mr. Alex Cobb.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why I went with Alex, but I'm gonna go with this now. Right. So Alex Cobb here. So he started off the season a little rough. He has a 4.80 ERA on the year, which is horrendous. But through his last couple starts, it's been nice. So literally today he got the W against Colorado. He got 6 Ks within 5 innings and a 1.69 ERA with a 9.4 WHIP. His last start, 8 Ks, 3.60 ERA with a 0.8 WHIP. And his last one before that was not so great, but on the 12th, 1 W, 10 Ks with a 3.6 ERA with a 1.20 WHIP. I'm going to tell you right now, somebody I'm scooping off the waivers, yeah, that's a home run for me. Yeah. You know what? Oh, God, I just lost it. Hold on 1 second. So his owner percentage, just for everybody's information, is 47%. So, I mean, not for nothing. If he's there, you scoop him up just as fast as I say the other couple guys. And you know what? You're missing out. And you're not doing your team justice or yourself justice on with your waiver wire pickups. If you don't got room for him, you must have had a really good draft.
Yeah, see, it's Matt. What's so funny is I was just about to say, damn, I wish I had the room to pick this guy up in a couple of my leagues right now, and I just truly don't. And it sucks because I once again, I have his stats here. Yeah, it sucks. I really wish I could pick him up right now. I'll give you his stats. Bigger. Well, I will say this. So far, for Alex Cobb on the year, it's 5 starts. It's a 3.98 ERA, 2 wins, 1 loss, 20 innings, 28 strikeouts. He's going to be a strikeout guy this year. But a 1.38 ERA. I will say this about Alex Cobb: his velocity has gone up. I believe he's hitting around 97, 98 these days, which is absolutely outstanding. The San Francisco Giants, they're pretty good with starting pitching. I do like that. His next start is at Coors, though, so I do want to say be careful with that one. Maybe you pick him up and you just leave him on the bench for that one. But he's gonna. I do believe Alex Cobb is somebody that's gonna have a good year this year. Matt, you said Cap might be your number one. I think Cobb/Tyon is my number one at the moment, and I think I'm leaning Tyon a little bit though, just because he's been better. The Yankees first place team, but Cobb is going to be a big strikeout guy this year. I think the WHIP might be a little high. I think you might get like a 3.6, 3.7 ERA. Mm-hmm. So adjust accordingly. If that's something you can use, big strikeouts, high WHIP, middling ERA, 47% owned for Alex Cobb on Yahoo. It's against San Francisco Giants. Go out there and add him. Matt, I'll take the lead on this next guy. That's Kyle Bradish of the Orioles. Man, did this kid come up and impress? Big 11 strikeout game for the kid, man. Him and Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall. It looks like the Orioles do have a great young rotation coming up for the future. Even Bruce Zimmerman is another guy. We haven't really talked about him on the pod, but another guy impressing for the Baltimore Orioles. But with Kyle Bradish, 3% owned on Yahoo, guys. So that's in every league that anyone listening to this right now could probably go out there and pick him up. Against the St. Louis Cardinals on May 10th, he went 7 innings. He got the win, 11 Ks, 2.57 ERA, and a 0.57 WHIP. So I mean, man, does this kid have some promise? I think he's going to be pretty good going forward. I don't rank him higher than anyone we talked about, though. The thing with him is he's still young, a little bit unpolished. I just think you be a little bit careful with this guy. He might be deeper leagues right now, but you definitely go out there and you throw Kyle Bradish on the watch list in every single league right now, just to see what this kid does.
Yeah, he's at least a watch list guy. It's exciting for him that 11K. Most pitchers have a hard time even getting that much, let alone getting 7 or 8. So, if he's showing that K upside, and that's a nice counting stat, you can win the category. So, it's one of those things where, he does something similar, his next start out, then you probably scoop him up. So,
Yeah,
and
Matt, I agree with you there. I just do want to point out, he had a pretty good year in the minors last year in 2021 for Kyle Bradish in double A, triple A combined. He had a 3.68 ERA across 22 starts, 100 innings, 131 strikeouts, but the whip was a little bit high with the 1.35. Just somebody who could definitely have big strikeout potential here. It's a tough division. So I'm gonna go out there and say deeper league guy for now. But my brother, you want to keep it rolling here?
yeah, I say we start moving into the bats. What do
Yes,
you
sir.
think? All right, so we're
Let's
going
go
to
for it.
talk about my next favorite player up here, another big time prospect from back from about 2 years ago, and that's Dylan Carson. Dylan Carson or Carlson, I'm sorry.
Awesome. There's an L in there. There's an L in there.
Yeah, I told you guys I got a third grade reading level. I'm lying, but he's been looking better. Started off the year a little flat, and couldn't really find it. But I mean, this last week he's got 4 runs, a home run, 4 ribbies, batting 389. So it looks like he's starting to figure it out, and that's encouraging because I mean the kid actually showed a lot of upside at times last year, and I mean his last year's stats weren't bad either.
No, they weren't. That's the thing. They weren't bad
Right.
last year.
And he's on a team with Nolan Arenado. So, I mean, it's another thing. He's got
And
that guy.
Albert Pujols
Yeah.
and my boy Wanya Pez. He's got a bunch of dudes that can
Yeah.
right there, show him a thing or two about a thing or two.
Exactly. Maybe he's going to have these guys are going to have the Freddie Freeman effect on, Acuna and Albies, the same way. So he had 79 runs, 18 bombs, 65 ribbies, 2 steals, and batted 266. Not for nothing. That's pretty nice, especially flipsy do flipsy do flipperoo here, and on your off days, he'd be a nice little. I know
I
if
love
you're,
that one, man. That was classic.
yeah,
Instant classic.
instant. So nice little sub on the off days for everybody else, and he could work himself into being an everyday starter if he continues on this trend. I mean, I don't think he's going to keep it in 389, but I think he definitely has about a 270 to 280 batting average upside. And I mean, I don't know about the home runs, maybe 25, but those ribbies and runs are going to be there for you. So I'm pretty excited for the kid, especially if he figures it out.
Yeah, I think with Dylan Carlson, who was 54% owned on Yahoo, and he's also on a little 6 game hit streak right now. So he's only getting hotter and hotter. Matt covered the stats from last year, which were for a 22-year-old, absolutely fantastic. Once again, keep in mind Dylan Carlson's only 23 years old this year, so there might be a little bumps and bruises, but I think he's gonna hit a nice little hot streak right now. I will point out Dylan Carlson in 2019 had a monster year in the minors. He played 126 games, had 489 at bats, 95 runs, 26 bombs, 68 RBIs, 20 steals, and he hit 292. Once again, Dylan Carlson he's a good hitter. He's polished. Had a decent track record here in the minors. And once again, Matt pointed out a lot of great hitters in that Cardinals lineup that are definitely gonna work with him, get in his ear, and show him how to get things done as a major league player. 54% owned. You can go out there, and I'd feel good about adding him. I think he's going to provide a little bit of speed, a little bit of power, and hopefully he can get that batting average up. And I will point out he hit fifth today or fifth yesterday, or fifth, not fifth. He hit fifth today. In the Cardinals lineup, man. Once again, the stats are going to start boosting up for Dylan Carlson. But to keep it moving here, let's talk about another guy that I was a little bit higher on coming into the year. That's Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. Once again, even though our Yankees are beating up on them a little bit, he's been playing pretty good recently. I know he started off the year, a little bit rough, but catcher's a really tough position right now. And so far, Alejandro Kirk on the year has played 27 games, 80 at bats, 6 runs, a home run, 5 RBIs. 11 walks to 9 strikeouts. You love to see the more walks than strikeouts. That just shows me right there that the plate discipline is very, very good. And he has a 263 batting average. Now, once again, in that Toronto's Blue Jays lineup, I mean, a guy like Kirk is gonna, if he gets going, those counting stats are gonna be very, very good. I think you go out there and you could add him. He's 32% owned on Yahoo. I've been making moves at catchers recently. I'll say this, Mitch Garver hit the IL recently. I cut ways with him. In a little bit of a shallower league, I cut bait with Yasmani Grandal because I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm not saying if it's anything like a 12-man league or higher, I'm not cutting bait with Grandal, but I could see myself cutting ways with Mitch Garver. If you don't got room on the IL, I'd say go out there and add Kirk right now. He hit sixth today in the Blue Jays lineup. Matt, any thoughts here on Kirk?
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing, just off the cuff of looking at his stats as a whole. You know how catchers usually don't get everyday plays. He's not
Yeah,
getting every day, but he's getting the predominant workload. So if you look at guys like Freddie Freeman and Ramirez and how many at bats they have for the season, they're at 105, 110 at bats so far today, right? Alejandro Kurt has 80 at bats.
yeah,
So that tells you he's the main guy, which means he's going to have the most opportunity. And with that kind of upside on his end, he could be a very good ad. And for a catcher to play that many days, there's going to be something behind it because the kid has a lot of upside and that bat has power. And that lineup is going to do some work for him. So he's going to work his way up in that lineup once he starts figuring it out. And he looked like he is. Most of his production came in over the last couple of days. So, you know what? He's worth it, especially, I mean, 9 out of 10 of us probably only want to keep 3 teams want to keep their catcher anyway. So I mean, if
yeah.
there's somebody there he could drop and pick him up because I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm saying right now. Catcher's
interchangeable.
just Catcher's just so bad, and a guy with Kirk's track record, especially he's been good in the minor leagues. He's had some a season where he hit 290, a season where he hit 354. And he's only 23 years old. So he's somebody where the sky is the limit, where I think right now, if you got a catcher that wasn't expected to be a top 5 guy, going into the year, you cut bait and you could pick him up. But let's keep it moving here, my brother. Let's talk about Harrison Bader, somebody who has a pretty decent track record. He's played with the Cardinals for a few years now. I know there was a good year in there, but the thing is, he's got 7 steals on the year. He's 40% owned. That's Harrison Bader once again, St. Louis Cardinals outfielder. On the year, he's got 16 runs, 3 bombs, 10 RBIs, 7 steals, and he's hitting 242. Now, do I expect him to be a mind-blowing player or anything like that? No, not at all. But I think if you need steals, if you need some runs, I think you can go out there and you could add Harrison Bader and see where things go with him. I'm not married to the kid at all, so if he does start struggling again, you can feel free to cut him. But he did have a decent year last year. Once again, Harrison Bader. He played 103 games. He had 367 at bats. Once again, this is last year. 45 runs, 16 bombs, 50 RBIs, 9 steals, and he hit 267. So, that's pretty good. And he had a pretty good 2018 as well, hit 264 that year with 15 steals. So once again, looks like a steals guy here with Harrison Bader. There's a chance he could, throw in a little batting average and maybe some runs as well. So if that's something that your team needs, you can go out there and add him in a good lineup. Once again, we've been preaching about the Cardinals today. Seems like a little bit of a Cardinals episode, if you ask me. But Matt, what are your thoughts here on Harrison Bader?
I mean, it's a nice little thought. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, steals are hard to come by these days,
Yes, sir.
except on my team apparently. But anyway,
Yeah, Cunha with 5 steals, by the way. I just would like to point that out.
yeah,
Even though he is a little banged up, he's got 5 steals already, which is awesome.
he's a monster. Anyway, I mean, for him to have 7 steals over a course of a month and a week, is pretty impressive. And last 2 weeks, 3. Actually, it just says the last month he had 7 steals. So that's pretty nice. I just add him just based off of that. And I mean, he's a nice flex play. And if he starts taking a dump, then you dump him. But it's one of those things where ride the wave and let's see if he can bring us the steals glory, especially in like deep leagues, 14, 15 man leagues where you probably maybe missed out on a steals guy or somebody just drafted them all and you're just not making it. Yo, throw him in. Let's see what happens. Because you
Yeah.
probably have somebody the same quality already there. You're probably not too happy about. This guy's going to contribute and not murder you in batting average either. So
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
not?
You know what, my brother? Once again, it's a total juice to orange situation here with Harrison Bader. Unless you know what he does wind up showing out, which I don't think he's going to. He's a little bit older, so I don't really think you're going to see like a huge jump forward here. But once again, just you need steals, you go out there and you grab Harrison Bader. So now this is a true, I think a true juice to orange guy here, Josh
Mhm.
Naylor, man. He's on fire right now. I'll tell you that. 38% owned on Yahoo. He has first base and outfield eligibility. So far, Josh Naylor has 10 runs, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, and he's hitting 347. Go out there and just add him. Just you see what happens with it. There's no reason not to. He doesn't have like this awesome track record from what I'm seeing here. In the minors, actually, I mean, he's 25, but he does have some like really like decent seasons here in the minors. He's got a year here with 17 bombs, 5 steals, 297 batting average across 128 games, which is decent. So if you ask me, it kind of looks like he might be a little bit more of a pop guy. And does have a little bit of steals here, it seems like. So once again, just add him and see what happens. He's getting that burn right now in the Guardians lineup. He did not play today because the game was postponed, but man, he's been hitting fifth and fourth. So just go out there and grab Josh Naylor and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's gonna have guys in front of him that are gonna get on base. It's worth at least a shot, and I mean, kid's showing it. I mean, last week he had four. Wait, am I reading that right? 14 ribbies.
Yeah, that was 22 RBIs. I'm looking at that myself, and I'm just like, wow, that's like some of the best guys in the leagues have around that many
Yeah, I mean, he
RBIs.
did it all in 1 week, which is just
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
that's why juice it, juice it, juice
Yeah,
it.
let's see how long this hot streak goes. I mean, at worst, he's an Eric Thames, and you drop him. You
Yeah.
know, but I'll take a half a season of greatness. But I mean, I don't know. I'll wait for the bubble, the balloon to pop, and I'm gonna pick him up at least.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you there, my brother. This is one more guy I will point out here. I know you didn't really want to talk about him because he got lit up, but I do want to say this. Dylan Floro of the Miami Marlins. We'll throw in a little closer here, a little closer bonus before we wrap things up. He did get lit up, yesterday, but I will say this: he had a great year last year. He closed out for the Miami Marlins, and he's just coming back from an injury, so you can't really blame him too much for getting lit up. He's probably just trying to get things back and going. I don't know what he did in spring training, if anything, at that. So last year for Dylan Floro and the Miami Marlins, he had a 2.81 ERA across 68 games. He had 15 saves, 64 innings pitched, 62 Ks with a 1.21 ERA. I'm going to say that they might turn to him eventually with the closer's role if he gets things figured out. They may or may not, but just somebody to throw on the watch list. 26% owned on Yahoo. Nothing really too actionable there, but I did want to give the people a closer option, here on this episode if they did need one.
Okay, I mean, hey, I respect it. I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole until
Hey,
I.
and that's fair, guys. If you don't want to, but I know in maybe some deep leagues, guys might need the option. Just might as well just throw it out there. But on that note, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for this episode. We're gonna call it a week there for the fantasy MDs. Once again, I'm just gonna ask all of you guys if you can and you like what you're hearing, please go out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and give us a little type out a little review. For us, give us that 5-star rating. Once again, if you like what you hear, we truly appreciate it. Once again, shout out to everybody on YouTube giving us those views and likes and comments. We truly do appreciate all of it. Guys, feel free to, message us with any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that regards. And, until next week, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. See ya.
Peace.